MCPodcasting.
Best player from every Premier League club. So we're going to go from start to finish, take alphabetical order, and go through every single team and pick our favourite player or probably the best player from that team. We'll just give our opinions on it and why we picked that player. I think me and Stephen probably agree on most of these here. Hopefully.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Be interesting to see. A lot of them will be really obvious, but then it gets into the lower teams, and the problem out there is I don't watch an awful lot of Brighton, for example. So it's hard. So
I thought that was your second club.
No, I don't watch an awful lot of some of those teams. So sometimes you're kind of going, "Fuck, who is the best player?" And then you just look at the stats and go, "Right,
exactly." Yeah, because we're gonna give our players based on like when we watch like Brighton or Norwich. I'm sure there's gonna be Norwich fans probably watch this going, "How the fuck did you pick him?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're gonna pick him based on like what we think, and if we're wrong, then let us know in the comments below because we probably are wrong.
Yeah, well, it's just an opinion anyway, man. I don't know if you can be wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if we say like for Arsenal, best player David Luiz, we're wrong.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Enough.
Yeah,
fair enough. Yeah, it's Socrates.
Yeah. Man United's best player is Jesse Lingard. No, it's not for debate. You're wrong. So we'll start with Arsenal. I think this is going to be the easy one for me. It has to be Aubameyang.
Yeah, hands down. He's one of the best players in the league, to be honest.
He's one of the best players. He's probably one of the best strikers in the world, hands down. Yeah. Regardless, even in the Premiership and even in Arsenal, in the world, he's one of the best. Like his goal ratios speak for themselves. He scores 20 plus 25 goals a season for the last 10 years now, and it's a player that I've always wanted Man United to sign. There was a rumor last season that Man United signed him, and I was so happy, but it didn't happen. But yeah, I think you can't see past him.
It's interesting in the sense that he hasn't signed a new contract with Arsenal, so it's possible that he could go this summer, but obviously transfers are all up in the air at the minute. But yeah, hands down, he's definitely Arsenal's best player.
But it's hard for him as well because he is 30 now, isn't he? Which isn't old. I'm not saying he's old, but who's going to invest 100 million on him? Yeah, it's for 2 seasons. Well, you never know. Yeah. So Aston Villa next.
I think that's another one that's kind of obvious for me anyway.
Jack Grealish.
Jack Grealish, yeah. The only other player I debated was McGinn.
Yes, John McGinn.
But he got injured. And I haven't seen him play anyway.
No, 100%. I had John McGinn down there just to throw a wee comment in because I think Aston Villa had a good start to the season, and then I think they started tailing away, and I think that kind of coincides with John McGinn being injured. But I do think Jack Grealish is obviously their captain, and he's the player most linked to leave the club. So, and he's the player Sky Sports talk about so much. So all of our attention is obviously drawn towards Jack Grealish when he plays, and being United fans, he's been linked with United for a while now. I think he probably will make the move regardless if Aston Villa stay up.
But Grealish is hands down their best player. I think every Villa fan would also say that.
Yeah. So the next team, Bournemouth, is going to be a bit tricky. Who did you choose?
I choose Callum Wilson.
I
chose Callum Wilson. I think it was a safe choice because he's usually their top goal scorer. He's their main man. Yeah. Their centre back Ake is a good player.
That's right I picked. So my choice was Nathan Ake, just because I had Callum Wilson down and I like him, but he's went on a goal drought the last 15 games. He's only scored 1 goal in 15 games for Bournemouth. He is really talented, but part of me just he's not that consistent enough. Why Nathan Ake is just every game, every time I see him play, regardless it was for when he played for Chelsea. Who did he play for in between Chelsea and Bournemouth?
He was on loan somewhere. He was playing in Germany at some point, I think.
He played some of our Premiership club and he's really good. I can't remember. We'll edit this part out because I don't know. But yeah, I personally picked Nathan Ake, but you think Callum Wilson?
I think Nathan Ake's class, but if Bournemouth were to lose someone, I don't know, maybe if they lost Callum Wilson, because getting a goal scorer is so hard to find. Yeah. If they lost Callum Wilson, I think they might suffer more, but I could be wrong. But I just think it's a team also I don't watch an awful lot, so it is me looking at he's the top goal scorer. He must be their best player,
True. So next is Brighton.
Brighton was also one that was a really hard one for me, because it's a team that again I don't watch that much. I went for their striker, Mupay, I think you call him. He's on 8 goals this year. Yeah. And again, it's a case of me not really watching Brighton that much. looking at the stats going, right, their centre forward must be their best player.
Yeah.
We're going to go Glenn Murray.
just trying to name any Brighton player. Who else plays with him? I think I went for Lewis Dunk just because whenever I watch him play, he's quite consistent. He's really strong. He's really mobile for a defender. And I think over the last 3 seasons since Brighton's been in the Premiership, he's showed to be a typical or a good standard Premier League player. Is he the best defender in the league? No. Nowhere near it, but I think he is a good quality, and if Brighton get relegated, there would be some Premiership clubs taking him. Another shout out was Shane Duffy and Connolly. Maybe I'm being biased because I'm Irish. I like Shane Duffy. He's done a lot for Ireland. I think he deserves to get more playing time under the new manager. But I think Aaron Connolly? Yeah, Aaron Connolly looks really talented, and I can't wait. I can't wait for him to break through the Irish team. Like,
who'll be on next?
Shit, I forgot that. Burnley. So next is Burnley. This is going to be a bit tricky in it, I think, because
Burnley's similar. I don't think they really have a standout player.
Yeah. I know.
Chris Wood, probably.
Yeah, I think with Burnley, there's a lot of good players. Like, I would shout out for Jeff Hendrick, again, being biased because I'm Irish. But I think Jeff Hendrick, when he actually came onto the scene, he came on the Irish team, he was really prominent. It was like, he's going to be a really good midfielder. But I don't know if he hasn't really developed that well, or being at Burnley, which are a more defensive club, he's been quite restricted in his playing style. But I like him. But the player I had to go for, just based on this season and in the last 3 seasons for Southampton, was probably Jay Rodriguez.
Are we on Southampton or Burnley?
Burnley.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot that he.
What edit that product?
Oh, sorry. No, that's grand. No. Jay Rodriguez. See, for me, Jay Rodriguez is always a threat whenever United play him.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever United go, so's Chris Wood. Though he always fucking scores against us.
He's a big lad.
That's kind of why I went with Chris Wood, is because he's always a threat. Whenever we play him, you know the ball's going to go up front, and you know it's going to be Chris Wood on the end of it. And it's like, it's so simple, but it just sums Burnley up.
No, 100%. I think Chris Wood's really good, especially being that lone striker, and he fits Burnley down to a T. But I think Jay Rodriguez, because he's first of all, he's super talented. He had a bad injury during Southampton, and he went to West Brom. He did okay, but I think he's really he surprised a lot of people going to Burnley, and he actually is playing really well. Somehow he's given a free roaming position under
Sean Dyche.
Oh my god, almost forgot his name. Right? Mm-hmm. So he's got free room now at Burnley. So I think you're seeing the best of him. Like, he's seen the goal he scored at Old Trafford when they beat us 2-0. So he's really talented. I'll just go for him, but I can see why you picked Chris Wood.
Yeah.
So next is Chelsea.
Do you know what, mate? This is something that I found really weird with the Chelsea one.
Yeah.
I was looking at their squad and I was just like, I really don't think their squad's that good. Like,
I don't think they have, like, usually they have that one man. They have a Drogba, they have like a Frank Lampard, like a Costa or Hazard. But this season, which surprised me, they don't have that standout player. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe Chelsea fans are going to slabber us about this. But I don't think there's a standout player, which I think sometimes is a good thing, because their team's all like on the same level.
Yeah.
And they're doing really well, especially with the transfer ban and obviously Frank Lampard's first time managing the Premiership. But I think it's an obvious choice for me. It's Kante.
Yeah, I went Kante as well. It was hard though because he hasn't played an awful lot this season.
No.
It was either going to be Kante or William.
Yeah, William. But William hasn't played that much as well this season.
Yeah, but I went Kante because I genuinely think Chelsea don't play him right. I don't know what the fuck's going on. He's the best defensive midfield player in my opinion, probably in Europe, and he doesn't play defensive midfield.
Does he play?
They keep playing him like left or right of a 3, or like, and he's the one that goes forward because they put what do you call Jorginho in that holding, in that like role right in front of the defender. That's where Kante should be playing.
Yeah, he's really good as well. And I was surprised when he came in on their salary last season. I was questioning him because they moved Kante out of that position. I'm like, why, who's this guy coming and taking Kante's position? As you said, the best defensive midfielder in the world probably. But I actually have been surprised how good he is. But yeah, you're right. Maybe just have both of them are really good. So it's like, I would always go for Kante just because past experience at Leicester and obviously early days at Chelsea, he's just been phenomenal. And every time I play against him, he's always one of the best players there, you know. Yeah. But I want to give a shout out to Tammy Abraham. I think he's come on leaps and bounds this season, and I think it's one of these things because I've been a fan of Tammy Abraham because I always bought him in Pro Evo. Like, he's always really young, and he's always really, really highly rated, and I always buy him because he's quite cheap. But I think he's brilliant this season, and he's one of the top goal scorers in the Premiership in his first season in the Premier League. So
it's impressive.
He's only gonna get better. But the bad thing, they just recently bought the German striker. Was it who got a German striker they bought?
Werner.
Yeah, they recently just bought Werner. So I don't know how that's gonna hamper Tammy Abraham's performance or his time on the field. So it'd be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see what happens next year under him.
Don't know if the Werner deal's hasn't went fully through yet. I think it's just pretty much agreed that they're agreeing a contract at the time of us recording this. But I probably expect that to go through. But yeah, you're right. Tommy Abraham's good. It's one of those ones though. He never really worries me. Like if we're playing up against him, I'm never worried. I'm not like, fuck Tommy Abrams playing. But maybe that's just because he's so young.
Yeah. Well, next is going to be Crystal Palace, and again, I think this is going to be quite easy.
Let's just move on.
Christian Benteke.
Yeah.
Wilfried Zaha. Wilfried Zaha for like United fans is almost like the one that got away because for getting him such a young age, and then somehow, and people say he failed at United. I don't think he got on that much to actually fail. Like he wasn't given that much time on the field to actually say he was a bad signing, but maybe in the training ground he was not good. That's why he didn't get picked. So maybe he was a failed signing. But he's a person, when I look back in is like since the Fergie era, there's only a few players I thought we sold prematurely. Memphis Depay and Wilfried Zaha is one of them because I think he's ridiculously good. He single-handedly keeps Crystal Palace up every season.
Yeah, there's no arguments. Like I didn't even put down another name. Like he's a standout there, best player. I'm surprised how they've managed to hold on to him as long as they have, but he will go a fine.
But do you think a lot of people were put off banning because what happened at Man United? Because he went to a big club and it's like, can he actually hack it at a big club? You hear the saying a lot, a big fish in a small pond. No disrespect to Crystal Palace, but he is like, he's their talisman. Like he can do no wrong. He can play 10 games and play horrible, but the fans are still backing him. He goes to Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool and plays 10 bad games. The fans will turn on him eventually.
Yeah,
maybe, but
yeah, no, I think you're right. But I don't think there's any argument with Zaha being Crystal Palace.
Amazing. So next is Everton, which I think is quite tricky.
I like Richarlison, that's who I went with, but I was actually going to go with Calvert-Lewin because he looks such a threat. Anytime United play him, last time we played against us, he was class.
He scored that goal.
Really, really good.
No. Oh, sorry.
But yeah, I don't.
I thought you were talking.
Everton's a weird one as well because I look at their squad and they've spent so much money, but I actually just don't think they're that good. Like, do you think as well going through this that the quality of squads in the Premier League? I was just like looking at this going, it's not actually that good.
No, I found it harder than I thought when I was going through these teams. I thought one person's always going to stick out, and I thought Everton was one of the hardest because I had 3 names down. I have Keane down, which is obviously their striker they bought from Juventus, who I was so jealous when they bought him because I always obviously base things on like Football Manager or Pro Evo. So Pro Evo he was always ridiculously good, and he's only like 19 when they bought him. So whenever he made the move to Everton, I was like, no way, they got a proven goal scorer, and he's so athletic and he's so strong, like, and he's only 19. That's a 30 million quid well spent, and he's only scored 1 goal a season. Obviously, Everton have been hit and miss this season, so you can't really blame it on him. But obviously, a 19-year-old move into a different country and all too. So I'll give him the bye ball, give him another season to get into it. But I really like him, but I can't really pick him because he obviously hasn't.
No, he hasn't done anything.
Andre Gomez, would you not call it?
Andre Gomez is a good player.
Yeah.
I think he obviously had a terrible injury, which kind of sort of derailed him. He came back very quick from that.
He came back within a week.
Yeah, but I think their biggest asset seems to be Richarlison.
He does.
I think if they're going to sell someone, it's going to be him, and he's going to get a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think he's a bit inconsistent, and I also think with Richarlison, I don't really know what position he plays because they play him as a centre forward, but he's kind of similar to maybe like a Rashford or a Martial in that way. It's like, is he a centre forward, a left winger, a right winger? Like, what is he? You know, and I don't think he's kind of nailed that down, but I do think he's probably their most talented player.
He's super talented, and you even seen it this summer or that January there, where Barcelona offered like 60 million quid for him, and they actually rejected it. So I think that says it all. It says it all about Everton and where they're going in the future, getting like Ancelotti and rejecting 60 million quid from Barcelona. So I think he's really good, and hopefully he kicks on this season.
Yeah.
So next is Leicester City. I think this is quite straightforward again.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, for me personally, I thought because the hype around him, James Madison.
I didn't go with Madison, but I do like him.
Okay.
I think Ndidi absolutely amazing.
He is. No, Ndidi's class.
I would love United to sign Ndidi. Madison is class, and he's got a lot of potential. I do think he's dropped off recently though. The last couple of months of the season, he wasn't as good as he was at the start, and I think he's just young.
Yeah.
But Deeney for me I just think he's 8 out of 10 every single game he plays.
But I've
never seen him play bad.
But I think with James Madison fall off kind of coincides with Leicester falling off, because Leicester have blown obviously challenging for the title, and now they're actually struggling to keep in the top 4. So maybe he's just in that sense, you can see why he's fallen away a wee bit.
Yeah, possibly, and I wouldn't dispute the fact that he's not a brilliant player. What about Jamie Vardy?
Jamie Vardy is one he's so consistent, and he's been consistent since the day he came in the Premier League, to be fair. I was going to pick him, but I just think something like James Madison's a wee bit special. Like, he can change the game of a drop of a hat. Jamie Vardy can do that, but I think James Madison, that young age, he's only going to get better. I think if he gets to move to a bigger club, no disrespect to Leicester again, but there's rumours of him coming United and going to Chelsea or something. If he makes that step up and can do it at a big stage, he's going to be phenomenal. Yeah,
I think you're right. But for me, indeed, he's just... I think I just look at it from a United perspective as well. Sometimes I'm like, what are we missing?
Okay.
I'm like, I would love Ndidi. Yeah. Whereas James Madison, I'm like, we've got Fernandes.
Yeah.
We've got Mata even in there. We've got Pogba, and I'm like, I don't necessarily want to sign James Madison.
Sure. No, yeah. That's
just me looking at it from a United perspective, you know.
Yeah, the next team on this list, I think we should just skip, because there's no good players play for him. Liverpool.
Liverpool might be an interesting conversation, actually.
I think it is. Who'd you go for?
I went for Trent Alexander-Arnold, mate.
Serious? Surprising.
I'm going to justify it because I think he's fucking amazing, first of all, right? And Mane's amazing, right? Van Dijk's fucking amazing. But for me, Trent Alexander-Arnold has changed the right back position. Like, he's had more influence on that team, in my opinion, than even a Van Dijk, because most of the goals come from Robertson and Trent. Yeah. It's like, if you took Van Dijk out of that team, right, it would suffer, right? He's amazing. I'm not even saying he's not, right? But whenever Trent Alexander-Arnold doesn't play, they're nowhere near as good. Like, they have to change the way they actually play football.
Yeah, that's actually good.
So for me, that's why I think he is their most valuable player, which is strange. I think he's got problems defensively.
Yeah, that's my problem.
He doesn't even need to rectify that.
That's my problem with Alexander-Arnold. Attackingly, he's probably the best attacking fullback in the world. Based on ability, he's the best effect. I can't see anyone really disputing that, because he is phenomenal, and the way he hits a ball, the way he crosses the ball, is dangerous. Every cross is always in the 6-yard box. Every cross is so direct, and it's like he doesn't cross the ball half-heartedly. He whips that ball in every time, and it's frightening. Every time we play him, he's the person I'm like, shit, don't let him cross it.
Yeah.
But on the flip side out there, I do think he is not great defensively. I think when teams get at Liverpool, there hasn't been many this season because they've fucking won every game practically. I do think he's questionable, and I saw it a lot when we play against when I'm based, in my opinion, largely based around Man United playing them, because that's the games I watch, the games that I would analyse more. And every time I watch him, he is so dangerous going forward, but he's so culpable when you're going at him defensively. If you have a decent player going at him, and if you have him a wee bit stressed, he looks like he's all over the place. But he makes up for it because he's so good attacking. So I'm not going to slag him off in that sense. But that's why I didn't pick him. I didn't pick Van Dijk because I don't think Liverpool have really had that any threat against them this season. I feel like every team just kind of sit back and get beat by them. You know what I mean? So that's why I didn't want to pick Van Dijk. The player I picked was Sadio Mane. I think he is just... He's
lethal.
Yeah, he was lethal at Southampton. He was ridiculously good at Southampton, and he moved to Liverpool, and he's got even better. He's made that transition so effortlessly to the point where he actually is a far better player now than he was there. He's making playing for Liverpool look so much easier, and then he's so underrated as well. Even though everyone talks about him, but he's so good. He can win games whenever he wants. He can win games drop of a hat. He can skin a pitch. He can outrun someone. His finishing is questionable. He does miss a lot of chances, but I think this season in particular he's improved upon that there, because every time he gets a chance he scores. I think he's their top goal scorer. He scored more goals than Salah and Firmino combined.
I think Salah, in my opinion, is a bit overrated.
Yeah,
personally.
I would say so, but I feel like when I say that, I'm being biased because I'm a United fan.
Yeah,
I think he's super talented, but I think Mane is better, the best of the front three.
Yeah. The reason why I wouldn't have went with Van Dijk is because I know we've got Aubameyang and Aguero, but I would love to see Van Dijk up against a Van Nistelrooy, an Henry, a Shearer, the great strike. I don't think the Premier League for strikers this season is that good.
Probably, yeah.
Like, I think we're missing a lot of great strikers.
Yeah.
But it's not to take anything away. He's obviously amazing. But it's like,
frightening amazing.
I just don't know like who's testing him.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Like when Fittich was playing, he had fucking Torres all over me. All these amazing. Yeah. It's like that's what you were competing against. John Terry was playing. He had all those strikers that you were competing against.
Maybe, yeah.
Like even like a Luis Suarez.
Yeah.
I'm like, who is there in the Premier League other than maybe Aguero and who else? Aubameyang that's going to really outrun Van Dijk.
True.
I don't know.
True, yeah, maybe it's a good point. But next team is going to be Man City. I thought Man City was a hard one, but I'm picking Raheem Sterling. I think Raheem Sterling is and this is maybe a controversial statement. He's probably the most underrated player in the Premier League in the last decade. I think no one talks about him that much. His goals, scoring ability, his assists, his all round play. Like the amount of managers he's playing under, and he just gets even better. He's under Guardiola, and he's scoring 20 plus goals every season now.
Yeah,
he's winning leagues after leagues. He's competing in the Champions League, and he, like, from being labelled a flop when he first went to Man City, I think he's come leaps and bounds.
I think he's class. There's no doubt about it. For me, I think Man City's best player is De Bruyne.
Yeah.
I think he's arguably the best midfielder in the world. He's amazing. Like he's just so. There's nothing else I can say about him. And you can tell the way other people talk about him.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when people used to talk about Scholes. When like other players and other pundits talk about De Bruyne, they're like, he's just doing things that we can't do. He's just doing things that you don't see.
Yeah.
Like the goals he scores, his assists. It's like even if he has a bad game for him is still like 2 assists. It's crazy. It's like you could watch him, but like he's not really doing much. Then it ends 4-0 City. And like De Bruyne, he wasn't great there, was he? 4-0 City, 3 assists by De Bruyne, and you're like, maybe he was great actually. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I just think he's the best midfielder in the league.
I think there's no right or wrong answer for Man City's team. Like they have Aguero was up, or like how good has Aguero been since his day he came onto the scene with Atletico, like up until now. He's literally just got even better. You know, you have Sané, who hasn't played much this season. Well, he hasn't played at all. Like he's phenomenal as well. So you have so many players in Man City's team. It's easy to pick. You pick any of them, to be fair. Even their goalkeeper is amazing. Yeah. But I just like Raheem Sterling because he's been so consistent even since he came on the scene at Liverpool up until now. I just think he doesn't get the credit he deserves. I think that's why I picked him.
Fair enough. Right, this is being interesting one. So United.
Man United. So this is gonna be a tough one. Give me yours.
It was really hard for me as well because, again, when I was looking at the squad, and it's hard because I like all our players, but we're just not what we used to be like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We're just not. Like, there's no Giggs, Scholes, like the names that you would call out, Finistroy. Like, unfortunately for me, I'm like, fuck, we are where we are for a reason because our squad actually isn't that great.
Recruitment's been poor since Fergie. But yeah, it's getting there anyway. So who did you pick?
I wanted to go with Bruno Fernandes, but I couldn't because
he's only been there like
he's not been there long. Yeah. I went with Martial.
Martial?
The reason why is because
I think we're going to disagree.
He's my favourite player. Right? He's like, you already know that Martial's my favourite player. I think wouldn't dispute the fact that I think he maybe sums up United as well. Because he is inconsistent at times, but we're so fucking inconsistent.
Yeah. And
I think talent wise, I think he has everything to be like one of the best players in the world. But he just hasn't quite got there yet, but I still love watching him play, and I think this season he's done so much for us. You know?
Yeah, okay, so I'll disagree with that there because I've been a fan of Martial for years, and it was this season it was the breaking point for me because I felt like you've been there long enough and you're literally not improving. You haven't done as good since your first season. You scored like 18 goals this first season, and he hasn't came anywhere near that. And this season I thought he was too inconsistent, and I was almost on the verge of just get rid of him now. I think we've had this conversation before. I was like, if you look at Rashford from his first season onwards, every season he scored more goals more since he's more influential. He's probably played the same amount of games. But with Martial, it's like, what side of the bed is he going to get up on? Is he going to get on the good side or the bad side? And I feel like he has all the ability to be the best player in the league, or best player in United's team by far. But does he have the mental state of having that there? Like, does he need to be like mentally, like he needs to tell himself he needs to be his best player? But I don't think he has that. I don't think he has that capability, and that's the bad thing. But saying that, the last 5-6 games of the season before it actually was postponed, he answered all my criticism. Like, he was strong. He was a proper centre forward. He got big goals in big games against Chelsea, against Man City. He was consistent, and he was on the verge of breaking his own record. So based on from like start of the season till like January, I thought we should get rid of him because he was so inconsistent. But since Rashford got injured up until now, he blew me away. So I get why you picked him, but I just think he doesn't come close to Marcus Rashford.
But are you going to go with Pogba here?
Rashford, I have Pogba. I picked two. I put Pogba down just because Pogba, based on ability, he's the best. Everyone knows that. He's my best player by far in terms of what he can do and just his ability in general. Like what he does.
I'm hoping Bruno maybe takes that mantle.
Probably, yeah. But I think Pogba, based on ability, is the best player. No, I no one would question that. But I think just Marcus Rashford is the best player because he's been doing it throughout the season, and every season since he came through, he's been even better. Like this season, he scored like 19 goals in 34 appearances. Like, come on, that's ridiculous for a team that's actually struggling.
Yeah, I know he's fat. The reason why I went Martial over him is because, like, if you take, like, I know penalties are penalties, but Martial has more goals than Rashford. Like, not from penalties. If you take off Rashford's penalties, Martial's outscored him.
But Martial's missed penalties this season as well.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but if you take like,
it's like you need someone.
Exactly.
Like, it's not just like.
So Rashford's missed penalties as well, like.
Yeah, but he scored a few as well. Like I think Martial's missed all his penalties this season, 2 penalties, and Rashford scored like 5 out of 7. So I get that, but penalties they're not easy. Like you mean like a lot of people do miss penalties.
No, I know they're not.
So I think Martial doesn't have the mental capacity to take a penalty sometimes. He looks so fucking nervous. Why Rashford almost like he's embracing being United's number 9 or no centre forward, the main man now, their talisman. I don't think you can buy a player who can replace Rashford now. Obviously, if you buy Messi, Ronaldo, or fucking Aguero, but apart from me, I don't see how there's no one really we can buy that can replace him because he's so strong now. He's so quick, he's so skillful, and he's proven to be a centre forward now in terms of goal scoring ability.
He's not though.
But he is.
For me, I think it's interesting. I love Rashford, but it's interesting that when they're both fit, it's Rashford that plays the left and it's Martial that plays the centre forward. Because Martial's so much better holding the ball up than Rashford. There's times when Rashford's up front and he just doesn't hold the ball up.
We're going to disagree on this here because I don't think that. I think the reason they're almost trying to fit Martial in places like because as a centre forward, I think Rashford's far better, and on the left, Rashford's far better. Martial, I don't know where his position next season needs to be. We're already trying to think of players to add in the squad that almost get rid of Martial. There's constantly rumours. I think with Rashford, there's no rumours him ever leaving. You know what I mean? I think that's. I think that.
But I think
there's
like
no
if
smoke
we
without
were
fire.
going to play Tottenham, if we were going to play Tottenham at the weekend and we were picking our starting 11.
Yeah, you're picking.
For me, I would put Rashford on the left and Martial up front.
Yeah, but
like I would never go. Let's put Rashford up front and Martial on the left.
That's because Rashford's more dangerous that way. But it doesn't mean if we had like a class left winger. You know what I mean? Like, and we pick Martial Rashford up front. Martial is getting dropped every day under Solskjaer and under Mourinho and under Van Gaal was the same. Like, you know what I mean? Like whenever you look at whenever Rashford came into the squad, Martial was pushed away to the side again because he put Rashford up front. Do you know what I mean? So we're gonna agree. We're gonna disagree.
I love Rashford, right? But I just do not think he's good enough to play centre forward.
Yeah. Well, I'm the opposite. I think Martial. I don't think based on the last 5 months, take away the last 3 months, I don't think Martial's even good enough to play for United anymore. But agree to disagree.
Fair enough.
Next one's going to be...
Right, next one.
It's going to be the hardest one, probably. Newcastle.
Fuck. Newcastle are shite.
Skip. Here,
I want John Joe Shelby.
You can't slag him off now, though. We fucking win the leagues in the next few years after all the investment, fuck's sake. Yeah, you want
John Joe Shelby.
John Shelby. He's good, but I don't think he's been played that much, especially under Steve Bruce. So that's why I didn't pick him. Naturally, I would go for him because he is probably the most talented player. But watching him this season, and they've been surprisingly good under Steve Bruce. A lot of people were criticising when he first took the job, but I actually went for Sean Longstaff.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised. Again, maybe I'm being biased because he was like United over the summer, so I kind of paid a bit more attention to him in terms of like watching him when he plays against the big teams. And every time I watch him, like he's fucking great. Like he is really talented. Now I can see why they rejected like 20 million quid from him. Because he's going to be a great player next few seasons. He's almost like for me, he's more a more mobile Declan Rice. You know? But
I don't really rate Rice that much, to be honest.
Same here. But Newcastle was tough enough as well. But I go Sean...
They're a bad squad. Like.
Sean Longstaff, and you went for John Joe Shelby.
Yeah.
So next is Norwich City.
I didn't find this that hard, to be honest.
You went for Pukin?
No, I went for Cantwell.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's fucking class. I think he's going to be someone that someone will sign him. Like, anytime I ever watch him play, he's so skillful. Like, whenever you watch him, you play for Norwich.
Yeah, true.
And you don't even realise he doesn't get any plaudits. He doesn't get anything. But I think Norwich fans really like him.
Yeah.
But his first touch, his ability, even to hold up the ball, skin someone. I'm like, and he's really slight as well. He's really skinny. And I think he's really young. I think he's going to be a smashing wee player.
Yeah.
I was going to go with Pookie, but then he fell off.
Yeah, I was going for Pookin as well, but I think he fell off as well too much to the point where he's really inconsistent now. He's almost like he's like a centre forward who doesn't score. You know what I mean? But I went for,
and he doesn't offer you much else.
No, because he is not quirky, he is not skillful, but he tries anyway. He tries to be hard. So give him that there. I went for Max Arns, the right back.
Right back, he's a good player.
He is really talented. I think once Norwich get relegated, because it seems like they're going to get relegated regardless what happens, I think I saw a Premier League club's going to snap him up like a big club. I think he's going to go to the top 6 club next season probably. He's so good. He's almost like I'm not saying he's a lesser Wan-Bissaka, but he's very similar. Like defensively, he's fucking formidable. Like no one can really get past him. But he's also really good at going forward, with some Aaron Wan-Bissaka that actually lacks. Like I would say Arns is actually a better attacking defender than actually Wan-Bissaka, but I think he's really overall he's a great player, and I think he's going to go to a big club in the next few years. Anyway,
next
was it Sheffield United next?
Sheffield United are the weirdest team in the world because on paper their squad is fucking shite.
It's really bad. I don't want to be disrespectful to Sheffield United fans because I'm sure they can point out 4 or 5 players that are really good, but if you're just looking at the teams on the sheet, there's no one really stands out. I think the person I went for Ollie McBurney.
I went for John Fleck, and I actually don't even know why. I went for this list.
John Fleck is really good. So I heard. Much of the day say he's good, so he must be good.
Yeah. No idea.
But no, I think Ollie McBurney. I think he's dangerous. He's a big centre forward. He has a great touch in him. He has a really good finish. He's not mobile. That's the only bad thing about him. He looks quite awkward. He almost looks like a centre back playing up front. You know?
Yeah, it's weird. Like the team, they're doing amazing. Though I'm not saying they're not.
Yeah.
But their squad, it's just how good their manager is.
I know. I think for a wee shout out, I would go for Oliver Norwood, just because he's from here. He's from Belfast, and he's also obviously an ex-United academy player. I've always liked him when he came for the academy, the reserves. When I was watching him, he just was never good enough to make the first team. But he looks like he's found his a good place at Sheffield United.
It's interesting that if Norwich gets relegated, or one of those teams at the bottom, you always think of the 1 or 2 players who the teams are going to snap up.
Yeah.
But if Sheffield, who are like fucking 5th, if they got relegated, or they're 7th or something, if they got relegated, I still don't know who would sign their players.
Yeah, no, it's very strange. There's no standout players. It's just that the whole team's just really just performing really well, and the manager's just doing a phenomenal job this season, especially.
Yeah.
So next is going to be Southampton, which again I think it's. I think
I thought this one was easy.
I thought it was easy, like, but it's only easy based on this season. Like, if you did it from the start of the season, I wouldn't have picked this player.
Well, who are you thinking?
Danny Ings?
Nah, not for me.
Oh, okay.
I would Ward-Prowse. I think Ward-Prowse is a class wee player.
Yeah, he is good, but I don't think he's that consistent. I think he always he plays like 2 games in a row. You're like, oh, here he could be a great player, and he just falls away for the next 5 games. You know.
See, I don't watch him enough to know that, but anytime I ever see him play, he's class on corners, he's class on free kicks, his passing is brilliant, and I'm like, he's a really good player. And I think Danny Ings is a great striker, and they're lucky to have him, but he's injured all the fucking time, and like he's not reliable. You know what I mean? It's like you don't know if he's going to be there next week. Whereas for me, James Ward-Prowse is like, I think he's just there. I think he's their best player.
See, I'm the opposite. I feel like just James Ward-Prowse has been like quite inconsistent since I've known him. Anyway, but I think Danny Ings has been really consistent. He's really consistent when he played for Burnley. Then he made the move to Liverpool, which was a tough enough move because Liverpool were in that weird period. They didn't know what they were doing, and he got a bad injury. He broke his leg. But I think since he's moved to Southampton, he's just proved a lot wrong, and he's still quite young. He's only like 26 or 27, so he's still like he's at his prime now. And every game I watch him, like he's gonna score. Like he will score. If you give him a half a chance, he will score. You know what I mean? Regardless, if you just get beat 9-0, if you give him one chance, he'll make it 9-1. That's how good it is. He's constantly there and he's constantly alert. Like sometimes you watch strikers, like they're too emotionally involved in the game in the sense that if their team's playing bad, they're playing bad. Like Danny Ings, like if Southampton's playing really bad, he's still on it. He's still waiting for that one mistake from the defender, and he always nip in there. He reminds me of almost like a Michael Owen. Not comparing Mike, because Michael Owen was a legend, like, and a great player. But I think he's very similar in that sense. Like he's so quick, and he's actually really strong, and I guess he's really good in the air for the head of him.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree. He's obviously class. I just Ward-Prowse is that player that even on FIFA and stuff, I would say.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
I just think he's that good.
So
But
next
who
one,
we on next?
I think it's next on the list is going to be Spurs, and I think I can guess your pick.
Go for it.
Son.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that you love him, would you?
I think he's class. I was going to go with Keane, obviously.
Easy
Kane's
choice,
fucking incredible.
Mhm.
But I just think Son is fucking next level good. Like I don't know what it is. Every time I ever watch him play, there's nothing he can't do.
Yeah.
If you put him in that Liverpool team or that City team, fuck me.
He wouldn't look out of place.
It's so hard with Spurs because they're all over the place this year and they're so dysfunctional and they don't even have a style of play and they've got the Mourinho that we had, which is fucking hilarious. But it's like, so Son still looks good, and it's like if you took him out of that team and put him in a team like City, he would be fucking outstanding.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, so, no, it's a good shout. He is really talented, and every time we play against him, I'm always like, watch him. Why Harry Kane's like, you know what Harry Kane does? Harry Kane's going to score a goal, so you can't give him an inch in the box. But in terms of overall play, I think Son is probably the most talented player. But I look at it, if I was able to pick one person from Spurs and put him in United, who would I want? And Son is amazing. Kane. It has to be Harry Kane because it's so hard to buy a 30 goal striker this season nowadays, because every striker's like score like 15 goals and fucking there's like no real centre forward anymore. Like for him, he's just like a classic 90s Premier League centre forward. He's almost like a Alan Shearer, but he's really, really talented in terms of his hold up play, his build up play. It's actually his dribbling. He's actually really good with the ball and getting past players and finding space. And what can you say about his finishing? Like, he's probably the best finisher in the league. Yeah, so I think, and he's 25 still. So I think he's gonna get better. And I do, even though I don't hate Spurs, but I think Harry Kane needs to move on now. And I love to see what he does. I love him to go obviously I love him to go to United, but I love him to go to Real Madrid to see what happens. Like, put him in a big team like Galacticos and see what happens. Like, I just love to see that. I think if you put him anywhere, Championship, Premier League, La Liga, Italian League, he's gonna score 25 goals easy every season. I think that's why he's so good. That's why I pick him.
Fair enough.
Next one, Watford. I think this is quite tough because I don't think there's, again, a standout player. There's a few, but I don't think there's many who are that consistent. So, based on ability, I think Deulofeu.
Yeah,
I think he is just ridiculously talented. But similar to Martial, what side of the bed he's going to get out on? He's going to get out the good side or the bad side? Because one time he's dragging Watford for 2-0 defeat to winning the FA Cup semi-final, going to the final, like scoring them. Like, he's so talented. But then in other games, you forget he's actually playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think him or Decore is another one that I was going to go with.
Who did you go for?
I went with Deulofeu because I think he's their match winner. I think he's similar to Saha with Palace. He's obviously not as good as Saha, but they would really miss him. With Decore, I liked him when he played more defensively, but under Nigel Pearson, he seemed to be playing him like behind the striker, which is weird to me.
Yeah.
He's such a big guy. He's not really that mobile.
Yeah.
And he's playing right behind the striker. I think he's very, very talented, but Deulofeu, I just think he's the best player, and I think probably their fans would be fucking gutted if he left. Like,
he is really talented, but two players I'm going to actually ask your opinion on. Troy Deeney, which I think he's been so consistent. Good. He's not like a 20 goal a season striker, but it's all around mental ability to drag Watford from, like, to be fair, being a relegation team to obviously finishing mid-table apart from this season, like, and just you look at players in big games and how they actually perform, and do they kind of shrink down when it's like a big club, and but like Troy Deeney's like, the bigger the game, the better he plays, and that's why I love him. Yeah. But I think I would go for Sarr.
Right. Okay.
Just like I think he's super talented. He reminds me of he almost reminds me of Pepe for Arsenal, but a much better player. Like, he's really physical, he's really quick, he looks really dangerous, and again, every time I watch him, he looks like a threat. Does he score or assist every game? Not really, but when he's on it, he's on fire, and I think he's like 1 or 2 seasons away from getting a big move to a big club. I
guess I haven't really watched them enough, you know.
Yeah, this next one, I think it was
West Ham. Was it?
West Ham, yeah. West Ham annoy me. They annoy me too so much because they're such a good club, and I always had so much respect for them. Oh, you're getting told to do it? Like, I've always had so much respect for West Ham in terms of, like, when they played it up. I always hated playing Upton Park, that atmosphere. Yeah. But since they actually moved the Olympic Stadium, I feel like they're a different club now. They always feel like they're not really run well. They're constantly second manager. Yes, they feel like who are they anymore? But in based on the players are so mismatched. You have like Declan Rice, who's probably everyone loves as a defensive midfielder, but you have like people like Felipe Anderson, who's so talented up front. So I'm like, what are you? Just pick one, pick a style. Use defensive team or attacking team. Pick one. They're just so mismatched, and that's why they're always fighting relegation.
For me, I agree. I hate. I don't know what it is. They're just not a force anymore. They never really were, I suppose. But I like Diop. I like their centre back. I think he's a good player.
He's really good, and he's really young as well.
Yeah, I think he, for me, is arguably their best player. And United were linked with signing him. It was one of those ones when we were linked, I was like, what the fuck? And then I watched them play and go, yeah, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Same here. No, he's really good. But I have to go for Anderson because he's been talented. Like even in that poor West Ham team, he always shines. You know what I mean? Give him an inch, like and he'll get by you. And he can create, he can score goals. And it's one of the things, like if he was playing for like a better club, even if he's playing for Man United or like Man City and all too, you would see his real potential. But he's playing for a team like West Ham, where he's just like barely getting points every game. So I think like you can't really see his true potential. Yeah. I think he is on sheet by their most talented player.
Right, is it Wolves next?
Last team on the list is going to be Wolves, who...
It's a hard one too.
Hard one again, very similar to, I would say, Sheffield United. They're doing so well, but there's no one standout player. They're all just really good together. I would go for Raul Jimenez just because he scores goals. He's scored like 20-something goals this season already. In all competition. He's lethal. And I think if he was a couple of years younger, he would get a big move. But he's coming
28,
30.
I think, isn't it?
He's coming 30. No, he's 29. I think he's coming 30 this year. So...
Right.
Do they, because he has so much importance on Wolves, so Wolves will want like say 30 plus million, and people are going to offer 30 million for a 30-year-old now, especially playing for Wolves. I don't see it, but for Wolves he's exceptional. Every time he plays against United, he's always a threat.
Yeah, no, I agree. I did go with him, but there was two other players that I nearly went with. I nearly went with Traore because he's a fucking beast.
He is
so hard to play against.
Again, we're basing this on like where most of our actual opinions are based on like when we seen him play against United. And I think every time he plays against United, he never shows up.
Right.
Like I think the last time he played them, I think Brandon Williams had him in his back pocket and they subbed him off at their 60th minute or something like that. I'm going like he's meant to be like moving to a big club. He's really quick and really strong. I get that, but I don't think his end product and his overall style is that good. But he is good. He is good.
Another one I was going to mention was Connor Cody. I think he's fucking class, and he's their captain. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's kind of underrated. I don't think he's fucking the best defender in the league or anything, but I just think he really fits the team well. But yeah, for me, Jimenez would be their best player.
But it's also you're saying Kobe. He's very consistent. You know that's what you need sometimes in the Premiership. You can't have players playing like Ronaldo, Messi one week and playing like fucking Lingard the week after. You know
what he reminds me of? He reminds me whenever Stoke were in the league and it was like Ryan Shawcross. Yeah. And you're like, right, he's a class centre back, right? Maybe he's not top tier, but he's so consistent for them, and that's Connor Cody to me. He's like he's not going to play for Chelsea. Yeah, you know what I mean.
That's true. But another shout out I would give Jan Mortinho.
Yeah, he's a good player.
I think he's been amazing. Like watching him, I think we went to see United match together against Sporting Lisbon, and he was playing for Sporting Lisbon, and we won that game 2-1, but he controlled that game. Like we should have got beat. He was just so good. He's been so consistent since Sporting Lisbon, Porto, even moving to Monaco. But it's a surprise move going to Wolves, but it's a good decision because obviously top 7 last few seasons anyway. Like he's super talented, and I've been shocked last few seasons why he hasn't went to a bigger club. I don't want.
He's kind of old now, isn't he?
But even like when he played for Porto and all too, I feel like I know Spurs were linked with him for years, and Arsenal and United. I always thought he was going to make that jump, but he just never did. But I'm glad I'm seeing him in the Premiership, and I'm glad people are seeing his real talent.
Yeah, well that's us, mate.
That was our list anyway. Yeah, that was apart from the Man United one. Well, that was our list anyway.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you agree or disagree with us, let us know in the comments below.
You are now listening to MCPodcasting.